All right, guys, what's up? I'm finally back doing these like vlog training session Q&A interactive type videos. Today I had deadlift. I worked up to a set of deadlifts, 635 for a set of 5 for my top set of 5 at about an RPE 8-ish. Moved on to single arm bench press, deficit split squats, and dumbbell rows. But I finally answered some questions, talked about Badger protocol, the Husker power metabolic circuit. What else did I talk about here? Oh, if I had to choose between a clean or a snatch for a contact sport athlete, which one I would choose. A few other questions as well, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Quick shout out for a few of my sponsors, Barbell Apparel. You guys know what to do there. The link's in the description below. Reminder, I am partnered with Hume Health, so you can get their body pod, their smart scale. It gives you more than just your weight. It gives you your body fat percentage, mineral content, where you're carrying your fat mass, where your muscle mass is distributed, all that kind of stuff. My code RETEL gives you an additional 20% off, and then Legion for supplements. If you want protein powder, protein bars, creatine, vitamin D, all sorts of different supplements, you can use my code HOSS for 20% off. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Finally back. I'll try to get more of these videos done on a consistent basis. My schedule is hopefully clearing up a little bit over like this Christmas, New Year's Eve type period of the calendar year. So appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy the video. 515 on the bar. I'm thinking this will be my final warm-up set. I'm going for an RPE 6 on set 1, RPE 7 on set 2, RPE 8 on set 3. I'll use the OVR device and the average velocity of my final rep of each set to kind of determine what set I'm going to use for my working sets here. So this will be my final warm-up, and then I'll decide what set 1's going to be. .48, .48, .51, .51, .51. So I think I'll go up 50 pounds on set 1 for my working set. So I'll go 565 for set 1. All right, 565. This set should go pretty smooth. I'm just looking to get my final rep to be at like 0.4, 0.45 meters per second here. Perfect. 0.43 on that final and 5th rep. After coming back from an injury, groin injury, would it be best to run something like starting strength LP until numbers go back up before beginning a program like HOSS? It's hard to really say without knowing how long you were injured for, how severe the injury was. There's a lot of context that goes into this question, but I mean, if you've taken a really long time off of training, especially with that lower body, I don't see any sort of issue doing a 4 to 6, maybe 8-week linear progression just to kind of build your tolerance to lifting weights again back up. I don't see an issue with that. If it's only been a couple of weeks, maybe you just do 1 week of just like everything staying at like an RPE 6 or so before you get into a more advanced or more intense program like HOSS. So without knowing all that context, it's kind of hard to answer. If I had to pick either cleans or snatches as the Olympic lift for a contact sports athlete, which one would you choose and why? This is a good question. This is something I've thought about a lot. Like if I could only pick one between the clean or the snatch, and we're talking about a contact sports athlete, I'm probably going to go with the clean. The reason being is that the actual contact of the bar coming down and crashing on your shoulders, on your collarbone, I do think there is some value in the actual contact the bar coming down to hit you has, because that's going to build like tissue tolerance to that area. The actual impact of having an external body of mass coming down and making contact with you. The other thing is that the load is going to be heavier with the cleans, so I think I would choose cleans. But then you have to also weigh in like the other factors of the snatch, the other benefits that the snatch provides, like thoracic mobility, shoulder mobility. You have to be a little bit faster with your shoulders, getting from like extension to externally rotating and full flexion. But if I had to choose between clean or snatch, I'm probably going to go with the clean for a contact athlete. But I don't know why you would have to choose. But if you did have to choose, I would go with the clean. Set 2 here at 605. Nice. 0.34 on that final rep. Are you familiar with the metabolic circuits or Husker power style workouts? How would you incorporate them into a full week of training while still covering all other bases, max strength, sprint work, etc.? I've had great success with them for hypertrophy and conditioning, but can't figure out the best place to put them in a week relative to my other workouts for best results. Yeah, the Husker Power, that's like that came from Nebraska. Is it Boyd Epley? I think it was Boyd Epley. If it wasn't Boyd Epley and someone else who like came up with that, let me know. But yeah, I can give you my experience with them. I've always found them pretty beneficial from like an early off-season standpoint. So if you're working with football, say the season ends around Thanksgiving time, and you do them depending on how many days a week you're training. If you're doing like an upper-lower split, have 2 of those days be the Husker Power. Yeah, the Husker Power metabolic circuits. For those who don't know what the metabolic circuit is, it's 3 sets of 10 with 1 minute rest with 50% load on the bar for front squat or back squat, bench. It's a squat pattern, a hinge pattern, a vertical pressing pattern, a horizontal pressing pattern, a horizontal pulling pattern, and a vertical pulling pattern. But yeah, it's 3 sets of 10 with 1 minute of rest and 50% on the bar. The way I would incorporate them, the way I have incorporated them in the past with teams I've worked with, it's 2 days per week, 1 or 2 days per week, and then you fill in the other buckets of training those other days. So yeah, it provides really good like training stress for like early off-season work because it's getting you back into weight room shape. You're still lifting weights, and it's just like up tempo. So how you're going to fit it in is just do it 1 or 2 days per week, and then the other days you're going to focus on max strength or speed or whatever other qualities you find important. So yeah, I'm familiar with them. I think it's a good early off-season programming style for 2, 3, or 4 weeks after that 4th week, because you're going to up the load a little bit, go from 50% to maybe 55% to maybe 60%. You probably got to cap it at 60%. I don't know how many people can go like 65% for 3 sets of 10 on the minute, but yeah, I'm a fan of it. The last set here at 635 for a good set of 5. This should feel like an RPE 8, so I should feel like I could do 5, 10, maybe 15 more pounds at the same effort level after the set. That's the way I think about RPE. Nice. Good set. 0.28 on that final rep velocity there. All right, so I was supposed to do pin bench press, but I'm still rehabbing my pec a little bit. I put 135 on the bar. It felt fine. I put 155 on the bar. That was a little bit iffy, so I figured I'm just going to do single arm dumbbell bench press. Load up my good side as heavy as I can. Still going to go 3 ascending sets of 5 at RPE 6, 7, 8. And then for my bad arm right now, I got 75 pounds with the dumbbell. So I'll go with that. And then if I can go a little heavier, I'll go a little heavier. What would you consider a relatively strong strict press? Is 1 times body weight generally a good standard? I know it depends on body weight. Yeah, I would say if you can overhead press, strict press your own body weight, that's pretty good. I'd aim for a little bit higher. My best overhead press is 315. That was when I was like 25 years old, maybe 26 years old, and I weighed like 245, maybe a little bit heavier than that, upper 240s. I just hit 300 this past spring at about a body weight of 238, I think. So yeah, if you can strict press your own body weight, that's awesome. If you can get a little heavier than that, 1.1, 1.2 times body weight, I think that's a good press. Do you like bigger calorie deficits or a slower approach? Slower approach is more sustainable, but I personally like bigger calorie deficits because that gets you to your body weight goal quicker. But the slower approach is going to be more sustainable for most people. But I have the type of personality that I can commit to something and like aggressively pursue it and then maintain the habits after that. Most people probably can't. So I guess it depends. All right, moving on to deficit split squats here. I got sets of 8. I'm just using the dumbbell today. Usually I'd probably go with the safety bar or barbell, but after the deadlifts, I don't want to put a little bit more stress on my lower back. So I'm just going to go dumbbells, take a little stress off that lower back, just really focus on getting good range of motion, good control, using those legs. Thoughts on the Badger protocol? For those who don't know what the Badger protocol is, I'm a fan of it for like younger, new trainees that need to groove that pattern, that need to hit the positions, understand how certain positions feel at certain ranges of motion. For those who don't know what the Badger protocol is, it's like you start the set with like a 5-second isometric at the bottom position. You do your reps, so you do like 5 reps of that exercise, and then you finish the set with another 5-second or so isometric. So for a split squat, it'd be go down, hold it for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do 5 reps, and then you go down again after that 5th rep, hold it for another 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the completion of the set. So actually, I am having one of my clients do the Badger protocol for a split squat right now. I'll put it on the screen. He's coming back from a meniscus injury. So yeah, for someone like him who's young, he's coming back from an injury, I think it's a good protocol. I think it's a good protocol if you're trying to mitigate, if you're working with like middle school kids who just have a tendency to throw on too much weight that they can't handle. It's a good way to mitigate like the stupidity. So there's good implications for it, good ways to implement it. But other than that, I use it a little bit for my pec rehab for bench press, just so I can feel the stretch at the bottom, hold it, do some like isotonic reps, kind of slow down, slow up, finish with a hold. I think it's good for like return to play protocol, coming off of an injury, or if you're just trying to mitigate some of the stupidity that like high school kids can be. Finishing up with 2 sets of dumbbell rows, just going to go to a 1 to 2 reps in reserve here. So a couple sets each arm here.